All right, happy Friday, everybody. I got up super early to watch Werewolf by Night by Marvel. Yes, the latest and greatest in the MCU. And I am shocked to tell you that I haven't seen anything this good in the MCU since Infinity War. Holy hell, the MCU! It's alive! It's alive! All right, so Werewolf by Night, it's a holiday special. It's like a one-shot, and it's like 50 minutes in length, and it's directed by Michael Giacchino. I can't pronounce his name. He's a composer. He composed the music to Rogue One and Up. Up's pretty good. But let me tell you, Michael, forget all that composing, man. You can direct, buddy. This is really good. Good job. In fact, you need to direct more MCU and Disney Plus shows because they need you, my friend. Okay. All right. I've already told you I like this show. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Werewolf by Night. Right away, our classic Marvel intro turns black and white. The music changes. We get film grain and hairs and blemishes on the film. It was so much fun. I love it. This is a total nod to Universal classic monster movies that I love. We get this narrator that, for a second, I thought, oh, it kind of reminded me of Vincent Price, but not really. And this is supposed to be Ulysses Bloodstone. We'll talk about who he is. So we get some narration and some cool drawings that discuss there is a darkness in the MCU that we haven't seen before, but you know, this is your entry point into that dark world of monsters. Then it cuts from that to live action. And yes, Ulysses Bloodstone has died. He's a monster hunter. And the thing that gives him his power is the Bloodstone. And basically it gives you the powers of Wolverine. Just think of it like that. And it's like a red stone. And since he's died, the Bloodstone needs a new owner. So this is sort of like his wake, and fellow monster hunters are showing up to pay their respects, but what they're really there for is to engage in a ceremonial monster hunt, with the winner getting to keep the Bloodstone. All right, so we meet Jack Russell, who is Werewolf by Night. He's pretending to be a monster hunter, okay? And he's got these facial tattoos kind of thing, and I don't remember that from the comics or anything. Let me know where that's from. Is that just new to the show? But Jack Russell was played by Gael Garcia Bernal. Not familiar with this actor, but I really am pleased with the casting. This guy did a really, really good job. I really cared about this character. I haven't cared about an MCU character in years. Really cared about Jack Russell. Really like this actor. So anyway, he's walking through this mansion. He's walking down this hall, leading to like a big open room with artifacts. But when he's walking down the hall, we see like these paintings of monster hunters fighting the monster that Gore is. Gore the God Butcher from like the comics, not the crappy Love and Thunder movie, but the comics and that cool design of Gore. And we also see like another image of monster hunters fighting a werewolf, a big scary werewolf. Anyway, Jack Russell, he gets into this big chamber with all these artifacts. I see the shotguns that I see the Bloodstones use. Let me know. There's monster heads on the wall. Let me know of the things, the Easter eggs that I've missed. I know there's probably so many Easter eggs in that room. I couldn't place them all. So in the comments, if you guys would help me out. All right, so Russell bumps into like the first monster hunter that we meet, a big Scottish guy that's hanging out. And then Elsa Bloodstone, daughter of Ulysses Bloodstone, shows up. And she's played by Laura Donnelly. Big fan of her. She's from a show called The Nevers. Really like this actress. I'm a fan. I will say, Elsa Bloodstone, she doesn't look like Elsa Bloodstone in the comics. But I like the actress so much, I'll let it pass. I'll let it pass. I like her. So another good casting job. And Elsa's going to talk to Verussa, who's her evil stepmother. And the stepmother says, you left the family long ago. You're such a disappointment. You disowned us in the family ways. You shouldn't have the Bloodstone, but it turns out, all right, we'll let you participate because, you know, you're the heir, but you really shouldn't have the Bloodstone. So I just love this next scene. So you know how I guess some people die and they leave their last will and testament on some video. So the family and friends can show up and they play a video and they say, okay, you get this and you get this. All right, well, Ulysses is like propped up in this coffin vertically, and they like open it up and you see his corpse, and he's like Frankenstein. He's got like, I think, stitches or something, and he's just like there. And then I don't know what they do something, and then he starts moving and talking like a Disney animatronic from the theme park, and he's basically explaining what's going to happen in this show. It's awesome. It's a great way of doing exposition. Anyway, the thing is basically this animated corpse saying, okay, well, we're going to hunt the beast, and the bloodstone will be pinned to the beast, and whoever kills the beast gets the bloodstone. And I guess they show the bloodstone at this point, and even though the show is in black and white, the bloodstone is colored, and only the bloodstone. So you see the red. Just a great choice. Just awesome job. Is that the director again? Good job, my friend. Anyway, Ulysses at the end says, instead of I'll be rooting for you, he goes, I'll be rotting for you. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. All right, so the hunters, they pick their place. I guess they take their time going into this maze. Jack Russell goes first, and at this time I was like, oh, they know he's a werewolf, and they're sending him in first, and he is the beast they're gonna hunt. That's what I thought was going on, but no, this thing tricked me. Oh, and by the way, as Jack Russell was walking into this maze, there's this like dude with a tuba. Is that what the hell that was? A flaming tuba, right? And it's like, boo, boo, and it was just crazy and wild and something I've never thought I would see before, a flaming tuba. I loved it. The music is getting more intense. Things are getting suspenseful as these monster hunters are lurking around this set that really is a throwback to Universal classic monster movies. Absolutely loved it. Jack meets Elsa in the maze, and, you know, Jack's a nice guy. He's saying, listen, let's don't fight. Let's just pass each other by. And I think Elsa would probably be up for that. But all of a sudden, the big Scottish monster hunter comes and attacks them. And Elsa appears to be trained by Black Widow because she does that move. Like, you know, all these women in the MCU, they do that move where they wrap their legs around you and they kind of, you know, bring you down. So I don't know, maybe Elsa was a Black Widow. I don't know. We'll have to find out in the Elsa Disney Plus series. But then, so Elsa brings him down, steals his kind of fake-looking axe, because the axe would weigh like 75 pounds, and she's kind of carrying it around like it's nothing. I was worried about the show at this point. Things were going to go. But Elsa cuts off the hand of another dude that has like a wrist crossbow thing. It's kind of cool. So we got blood. That's great. We got blood. And then as this guy is kind of like dying, Elsa like grabs him, covers his mouth, and is holding him in the bushes while the Scottish guy recovers his axe and walks away. I thought that was kind of creepy and dark, how she's covering this dying man's mouth. I loved it. We're going dark, and I'm all in. All right, so Jack Russell is walking around this maze, and a big arm and hand comes out of the bushes and grabs Jack, and it's not a werewolf, it's Man-Thing. You know, like the Swamp Thing looking guy, but he's in Marvel. And I'm like, how cool is that? And like Jack and him are friends or something? So Jack is here to help Man-Thing escape being part of the ceremony, to get him out. That is super cool that they're buddies. The androgynous monster hunter guy shows up, and Jack runs off. And eventually Jack and Elsa find themselves locked in a mausoleum with all the bloodstones that have passed on. And Jack and Elsa, they make a deal. Like, Jack's like, listen, you help me get the monster out, Man-Thing, and I'll just, since the bloodstone's attached to him, I'll just let you have the bloodstone. And so they make a pact, and I really like these two together. Just really enjoyed the dialogue and the fact that they teamed up. And so Elsa, you think they're trapped because the door is locked and they can't get out. But Elsa is like looking around at the bloodstones that have passed on. You know, their coffins are there. And she sees her Aunt Frances, and she's remembering that Aunt Frances thought she would come back to life. And because she thought she would come back to life one day, she would need an escape plan from the coffin in the mausoleum. So she's up there like breaking into this coffin, pulling out her aunt's head. I was like, yeah, I like this. This is cool. And she goes digging and other body parts and pulls out keys because Aunt Frances thought she would need the keys to get out of the mausoleum. I like that. That is really cool. All right, so Jack and Elsa, they are out and they split up. So Jack has an explosive device. He's going to run off and blow up a wall so everybody can get out. And Elsa's going to go track down the monster, Man-Thing. And Jack tells her, listen, when you find the monster, call him Ted. Call him Ted because he'll know you know him and you won't be afraid and all. That's a good thing. Because Elsa's walking around and the big Scottish monster hunter comes out. And all of a sudden, Man-Thing comes out and touches his head, and his head ignites into flames and like vaporizes, because that's what Man-Thing does. If you have fear in you and Man-Thing touches you, you're just going to turn into fire and just obliterate. And it looked great. It looked exactly how it should. I absolutely loved it. So then Elsa's like, "Oh my God, and Man-Thing is right here," and she goes, "Ted," and then Man-Thing, turns from an angry monster to like. Ooh. Like, oh, you know my name. Oh, okay, we could be friends too. Absolutely loved it. It was awesome. So then Jack does eventually, he struggles, but he blows the hole in the wall. Man-Thing runs out. He's free. And Elsa uses some device, right, to fish the bloodstone off Man-Thing. So Elsa has the bloodstone. Bloodstone falls on the ground. Jack touches the bloodstone. Big mistake, Jack. You should have known better. And it like throws him back and stuns him. And the monster hunters show up, and Elsa's looking at this, and they know if a monster touches the bloodstone, they react that way. They get like frozen. So everyone knows Jack's a monster. They just need to figure out like what kind of monster is he. So that Veruca, evil stepmom, puts Elsa and Jack in a cage together, thinking that like maybe Jack would turn into the monster and kill the stepdaughter. Jack, knowing that that's her plan, Jack like starts to sniff Elsa and says, "Stare into my eyes so I remember you." And he's sniffing her. So when he turns into the werewolf by night, the werewolf by night will recognize Elsa as a friend. I know I'm going through the plot here, but I loved everything about this show. I mean, it's a shame. It's like 150-minute episode, one and done. I mean, I want more of this. They better give us more of this. And I love the black and white too. Oh, all right. Veruca shows up and she uses the bloodstone to change Jack into werewolf by night. Loved how they did this. Absolutely loved it. So we're zooming on Elsa's face. Elsa's face keeps getting closer to the camera. And behind her, we get the shadow of Jack turning into werewolf by night, the transformation, and it's done in like a strobe light effect. So good. So good. You don't have to do a werewolf, American Werewolf in London, with the snout extending. I loved how they did this. This is really, really cool. And then they show like the cell, it's all foggy and the camera pans up and you see like the bars are bent. So he got out and then he's going to go to work. Werewolf by Night is going to go to work. Love the design. It looks as close to the comics as you're going to get, kind of updated, but really they kept the human form of Werewolf by Night. They didn't go full woofy, like something like Dog Soldiers, which I like. But this is definitely more human. And he goes like full Mike Tyson. He's biting a guy's ear off. I like his fighting style. It's very like you would think a werewolf would do with flips and stuff. And Elsa joins the fight and she's like cutting people's necks and heads. And then we get this like shot of like a hallway with a door in the background closing. And there's all these guards. And it reminded me like of the classic Daredevil scene from season 1. Like the camera just sits there and the werewolf is like taking all these guys out. And then at one point, like the camera lens gets blood splatter all over at once, and then it happens again. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Then we have Veruca blasting Werewolf by Night with the stone to kind of repel him and put him back. But Elsa kills like the last monster hunter, the androgynous person, and then like slices Veruca in a bloody way. She's not dead, but we thought she was dead at that point. And then Werewolf by Night like pins Elsa on the ground, but he looks into her eyes and recognizes her and doesn't kill her, and then runs away. And then Verussa is not quite dead, so she pops up again and threatens Elsa. But don't worry about it, because Man-Thing comes out of nowhere, crashing in, and grabs Verussa and completely vaporizes her. It's awesome. It's totally awesome. And then he asks Elsa in like his Man-Thing way, kind of like Groot or something, where is Jack? He's looking for Jack, his buddy. And Elsa's like, oh, he went like that way. And then there's like this shot of like Man-Thing kind of like just walking away. It was so good. So good. There's those little moments. Like Michael Giacchino. Dude, the dude gets it. Like, there's those little moments. You gotta, it's like, it is like a composition. You gotta know when to rap. You gotta know when to breathe. There's pacing. There's editing. Dude, do more. Do all the Disney Plus shows, man, because you just put on a master class on how to do it. All right, so the show ends. Elsa sits in like a chair, and we hear Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. And like The Wizard of Oz, right, going from black and white to color, so does our show here. It goes from black and white to like a wave of red on the chair, right, Elsa's sitting on. And so basically, she's inheriting her family legacy of being the monster hunter and, you know, taking over the family business. And then we cut to what? Man-Thing, sort of in the woods. There's like a tent. He's camping. He's playing solitaire maybe all night. It's just awesome. And Jack Russell wakes up. He's no longer a werewolf. He's all groggy. Man-Thing hands him a cup of coffee. Absolutely love it. And then they go talk about getting sushi together because they love sushi. Loved it. That scene right there between Man-Thing and Jack, I was just eating it all up. It was so glorious. Yeah, well done. So let me go through this list here. I mean, the story. I love the story. I love the twist that they weren't hunting Jack, that they were hunting Man-Thing, and Jack was there to save his buddy. Very cool. Wasn't expecting that. So it kept to the lore, you know, the Marvel lore. Loved it. The dialogue. I didn't see any problem with the dialogue. If you don't see a problem, yeah, must have been pretty good. I liked it. Interesting. Again, it respects the lore, respects the characters. True to the characters. The sets were gorgeous. The costumes were gorgeous. Really, it's that classic Universal Monsters look. Absolutely loved it. Music, of course, was great. It knew when to, get intense. It knew when to back down. Editing, pacing, the black and white look to it with the defects in the film. Oh, so good. Cinematography, just the selection of camera shots, awesome stuff. It was shot at times like the old Universal movies. Just very, very cool. Yeah, art design, fight choreography. Started a little rough with Elsa doing the Black Widow thing. I was like, and then it got good. It got good. So I'll give it a thumbs up. Yeah, I mean, I cared about this. I cared about the characters. I enjoyed this. I can't recommend this enough. Give me more of this, Disney. Somebody, Kevin Feige, give us more of this. This was awesome. Yes. All right, everybody. I can't recommend this enough. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Werewolf by Night. Man, really, really a fun time. I am going to watch this again. Ho ho! Never said that about any Disney Plus show ever. Well, Mandalorian maybe. Okay. But Marvel? No way. But I will rewatch this. All right, everybody. I got to watch Rings of Power next. Everybody, have a great day, a great week, a great night. I have to watch Rings of Power. I will see you soon. And as always, I will see you on the new It's Alive!